Welcome to part 8 of our video series on defeating disengagement. In the very first introductory video, we said that the function of this series was to teach you how to create a corporate culture whereby people would have as much of an interest in the health and welfare of your company as you do. And we've been told many times, oh, well, that's impossible, until we teach somebody how to do it. And then they say, it's magical. Well, as I said in the first video, it's not magical, but it is very methodical, and it's based on a medical approach. So the next step in this series, the next step in your methodical sequelae that you need to do is to implement certain things that will transform your corporate culture. And in the last video, we were saying that the secret to that is recognition, appreciation, and affirmation. We said that you need to create a sense of well-being or comfort, if you like, in the hearts, minds, and spirits of your employees. Why is it important to create a sense of well-being? Because disengagement is a corporate disease. It's a corporate psychological dis-ease. In other words, it's discomfort. And that's why when disengagement is rampant, employees report that they have a sense of complacency, apathy, and despondency. These are all three psychological descriptors. Now, in the surveys, the employees don't say it that way, but in psychology, that's what it boils down to when it's diagnosed. So, you want to turn your corporate culture around, then you want to turn your employees away from apathy, away from complacency, and away from despondency, and you want them to be excited and you want them to be enthusiastic. And the way that you do that is with a culture of recognition, appreciation, and affirmation. So I promised you in the last video I was going to give you an example, and this example is a bad example. A number of years ago when we were doing a training conference when we were doing training at a conference, a number of people at the conference came up and said, you know, would you be able to teach this to our people? Well, of course, that's what we do. That's why I'm at the conferences giving lectures. One of the people that we went to, this particular gentleman, his business was in Phoenix. And when he finished the training for management, he took something away from the training that was an error in his thinking. Somehow this particular guy missed the point. Missed the point that our people are holistic human beings. They're not robots. Our people are comprised of 4 components in their psyche: the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. What this guy did take away from it is recognition, appreciation, affirmation is the 3 key secrets. So what he decided to do was every morning he would walk around his office and he would have 10 dimes in his left pocket. And he would walk around throughout the day finding things to give people recognition, appreciation, affirmation for. And every time he accomplished that mini goal, he would transfer a dime from his left pocket to his right pocket. And at the end of the day, as long as he had transferred the dimes from one pocket to the other, he goes, yay, good for me. I've shown 10 different people recognition, appreciation, affirmation. According to Dr. Kevin, my business should turn around. No, it doesn't, because people are physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Forget about the physical for a moment. Mental, emotional, and spiritual. This guy was trying to game the system. He was looking for a shortcut. Transferring dimes from your left pocket to your right pocket will not transform your corporate culture. But that's what he took away from the training. 6 months later, he contacted me. He said, things were going great. And then 6 months later, he contacted me and said half of his people had quit. The reason that half of his people had quit is because they got tired of being flattered without substance. In the previous video, number 7, we said it has to be bona fide. You have to show appreciation where warranted. This guy just walked around looking for things to flatter people about. In other words, he never understood the psychology of the training. Now I'm going to give you another example. Another example is somebody that took this exact same training and they went back to their head office and they said, they got their management team together and they said, we are going to teach everybody how to do this. Everybody from us in the top management to middle management to everybody in what Dr. Kevin calls the rank and file. And they invested the time, the energy, the emotion, and yes, the finances to give everybody that training. But it turned their business around and their productivity went up 30%. And that's a phenomenal increase. But it's only a phenomenal increase if they were doing well to begin with and it went up 30%. See, they weren't doing well to begin with. They were underproducing. They were handicapped or hamstrung. And it's why they knew that they needed help with this whole sense of corporate disease. And they were actually recommended to us by another person, a corporate psychologist, that said, you need to contact Dr. Orieux. He's the one that can help you. So they took the information, they got their management team trained in the information. Once the management team understood the information, then they took it to the rank and file. And in a period of 12 months, their productivity went up 30%. But remember what we were saying earlier? There's fixed expenses. Because their fixed expenses stay fixed, and because fixed expenses are the vast majority of the cost of running any business, when your productivity goes up 30%, then the math is magical. Because that's when your profitability can go up 120%, because your fixed expenses are already paid. So here's where you need to go next if you're serious about defeating disengagement. You need to recognize it's a corporate disease. You need to recognize its psychological nature. You need to recognize that the psychological dysfunctional mindsets of your employees are not limited to your employees. Gallup has shown that this is an epidemic. It affects 85% of people in the workforce everywhere. So your people have an epidemic disease, a plague. The question is, do you want to cure it? Because we're taking a medical approach. And if you want to cure it, then the next video is going to show you something that should encourage you to move forward to the implementation, because the ROI on transforming your workforce and defeating disengagement is nothing short of magical.